Hello, everyone. This is Path to Success International School presenting you this lesson talking about global perspectives. I'm your host, Teacher Charlie, who is going to teach you again today. As you remember well, last week we covered the lesson entitled Reuse. And if I come back to the lesson, we said that reusing something means, like, I give you an example, like a plastic bottle or a water bottle, a plastic water bottle that you used before, and then you can even reuse it to store. Maybe you can store juice. Suppose you've made fresh juice, and then you use the same plastic bottle that has been used before or previously for water, and then you can use it now for storing juice. You can even keep fresh milk. You can also even keep cooking oil. That is what is reusing is all about. It means you get one item or a material, you use it one more time or over and over for different reasons or for different purposes. Now, look at this picture. What can you see in this picture? You can see this lady is looking at trash. This is what you call, last time we called this is a landfill. A landfill, which is an area of space where people come, they dump trash or they throw away trash. This area is a landfill, is a place where they keep trash or rubbish instead of throwing trash everywhere. But why when you look at this rubbish or this trash, you see there's a large amount of trash, but we are going to talk about recycling. Now, what is recycling? Recycle means, or recycling something means, it is the process of turning waste materials into new materials that can be used for new purposes or reasons. So it means when you go to the dustbin, you go to check in your dustbin or in a trash can, or you go to check in the rubbish, you can find some waste materials. But not all waste materials are not, you can say not all waste materials, you cannot say all of them, they are not important. Some of them are still important. They can go to the garbage or to the rubbish, they collect some of the waste materials, and then they transform these materials which have been kept in, which have been dumped there, maybe dumped there in the garbage, they can be used for new reasons. Maybe they are brought to the factories and go manufacture new products. Recycling also means using trash or rubbish to remake new goods, to remake new product that can be sold again. Like suppose this is a cardboard, okay, which has been dumped or maybe thrown into the garbage. They collect the same cardboard, which can be brought to factory to create other materials made of paper. So this is what you call recycling something. So it means they can make another product which is different from a cardboard. Now, recycling is also extracting valuable materials. It means they explore, they use very important materials from items that might otherwise be considered rubbish and turns them into new products. Look at this. This is a plastic container. Okay. Now here I can see they are just keeping salt inside. Suppose this plastic container, you find it in the dustbin or maybe in the trash can, and then the same plastic container, which is considered as rubbish because the person who has thrown it away, it means like he has thrown it away because he no longer needs it. It means it is no longer necessary for him to use this plastic container. Then he's going to throw it away. And then when people come to collect the garbage, they check the materials which are very important. They collect this plastic container. The same plastic container can be brought to a factory, and then it can be transformed or turned into another plastic material. Let me say, like for instance, this plastic container collected from the garbage and then transformed into a, it can be transformed into what? Into a plastic ruler. It can be transformed into plastic roller because the same, they are different items, but they can be made, it is different items, but they are made of the same material, which is plastic. There are so many things or items in your day-to-day waste. It means in your day-to-day waste, it means every day there are things you throw away that you no longer need them, that can be recycled. Or they can be used to manufacture or to make other new things just by putting cans. Cans, I gave an example last time, like tomato cans, okay, like Coca-Cola cans, okay, like Nido. Powder milk is also a can or a powder can or powder milk can or powder milk tin. It is also a material which can be recycled. Paper, plastic bottles, into your recycling bin. Maybe you might have a recycling bin in your area or maybe at your home. And then these materials can be collected from your recycling bin, and then they bring them to factories, or you can even use them one more time for different purposes. Why? To make sure that less waste goes to waste. You see, like in a landfill, as it is a big an area of land where you can find garbage. They collect different types of items which are considered as rubbish, but they collect the most important one. But maybe those which are no longer needed, maybe they can be burnt. But those which are still very important, they collect them one more time to bring them to factories to manufacture new product. So you see here, we are making sure that less waste goes to waste. We don't want to waste all the materials. No, we collect what is very important, and then they are brought to factories to create new products. Then more and more materials are made into something new. Now it is easier than ever to recycle things we don't need anymore so that they can be reused. Near your home, for instance, you can find places like a recycling station. It is a place where people come and dump the garbage or the rubbish, and then there's a the garbage collectors. They come, they collect those trash. Some of those waste materials, they are very important, and then they can be brought to different factories or different people who have skills. They can use the same materials which have been dumped or which have been thrown away to create new items like containers for cans, as I said, a powder milk can, maybe a Coca-Cola can or a tomato can be also recycled. Plastic, plastic, paper, or organic waste. These are the things which can also be recycled. Now, plastic, paper can be also recycled, as I said. Now, by using those things, what are we going to get when we recycle those materials? It will help us to avoid contaminating nature or contaminating our environment. You know, as I said last time, we have our natural environment, which is made of the wildlife like the forest, we have trees, and other natural things around us, the rivers, the mountains. This is the natural environment. And the air also that we are using for it helps us to breathe. And We also have the artificial environment, which means the place where we are living in, like our houses, you see, it is also a artificial environment. It is an environment which has been made by a human beings. Now, when we recycle the most important material, you are going to see the amount of trash will be reduced. And this will prevent from contaminating the environment, the rivers, the seas, the lakes, as well as the atmosphere will not be polluted, which is the air we breathe. Now, what is the benefit of learning this lesson talking about recycling? Recycling our waste, instead of letting it go to landfill. You see the first picture that I showed you before, we had a landfill is a place where they store a large amount of garbage. It will help benefit our environment or help our environment. Our environment will not have a large amount of trash. Why? Because if our environment does not have a large amount of trash, the amount of pollution also will be low. Because as I said, not all waste materials are not important. Some of them are important. They can be reused and recycled to manufacture new product. But recycling, it reduces the waste that can be found in the landfill. And then another benefit of recycling is like turning waste materials into new useful materials. Waste materials collected from the dustbin, collected from the landfill, they can be transformed into very important other new material. Recycling helps us to save resources. As I say, before manufacturing something, as I said last time, it is a very long process. Let me give an example, like manufacturing uh, a bottle of juice, a plastic bottle of juice. You see, first of all, we have the process of manufacturing the plastic bottles. Also, this process of manufacturing the juice, there are, the different stages, the different machines. We also have the people who are working in that factory. They should be paid. The material they are using. You see, when we practice recycling, it saves the resources, the money that we're supposed to spend. We are not going to spend as much money as if we are using new materials. Because when you use new materials, you have to spend a lot of money. But when you use the old materials, they are recycled, then you see we can spend money, but not as much as if you are using new items. When we recycle, used materials are turned or they are changed into new product, reducing the need to consume natural resources. Sometime before manufacturing something, you have some time to go and maybe cut down the trees. Sometimes you can use some minerals, gold, diamond, or maybe you can use some minerals. And then, when we are recycling materials, it will help us to save. We are going to save our resources. We are not going to use too much our natural resources. Because if we use all our natural resources, in the future, we'll not have what we can use. That's why the process of recycling helps the people even to save the natural resources, because natural resources, even waters, lakes, rivers, these are natural resources. Suppose if we use a large amount of water, and then most of the waters they go dry, we are going to have a serious problem of drought, and then it will be very difficult for us to live in our environment. The benefit of recycling is also reduces the amount of new raw materials being used to create certain product. Raw materials are new materials which helps us to create other materials. Like a laptop I'm using, it is made of many materials. But if like this laptop is very old, is no longer working, Instead of burning it or throwing it away, you can get the same laptop and then they collect the very important materials from the laptop and create another, or sorry, and manufacture another laptop. Because like if you just manufacture a laptop, you use all materials that you are using are new, it is going to cost a lot of money. Instead of using new raw materials, we can use also waste materials to create other new product. Recycling, as I said, it helps us to save energy because we are not going to waste energy as someone who is using new raw materials. It also helps us to protect our environment, as I said, like when you have a large amount of trash, like as I said, for the case of a landfill, because even if some of the materials will be recycled, but others which will be left, which are not important, they will be burnt. And when they are burned, they are turned into ashes. And these ashes, maybe they can affect the ground. And this can cause the problem maybe of soil pollution. Not only that, because some of the material they can be made of plastic and other materials which can even damage the environment, the air. That's why recycling materials, it will reduce the amount of trash, and then the amount of pollution in our environment will be also reduced. Recycling reduces incineration. What is incineration? Incineration is the fact of burning something, like those useless materials which are regarded as waste. They're not going to keep them for long. They have to take them and burn them. But if they burn them, do you know what those materials are made of? Some of them are made of metals, some of them are made of plastic, some of them are made of different kind of materials. And there are other materials which you can burn. The fact of that smoke is trying, that smoke even can even affect the air. Maybe the burning those materials, the ashes can even pollute the soil. You see, incineration is somehow is not, it's also dangerous because the materials you are going to burn, you don't know what they are made of. You don't know the consequences that might have, the impact, the negative impact it might have on our environment. That's why I'm saying that recycling reduces incineration, because if we recycled a large amount of waste which are important, which can help us to create new materials, you can see even the amount of trash that you are going to burn will be very, there'll be, we are going to burn a small amount of trash. And then it reduces the need for using raw materials. As I said, you don't have every time before you have to look for gold, you have to look for diamond, you have to go to look for minerals, or maybe you have to go to cut down trees because you need the wood. But if we recycle materials, it can help us to manufacture new things without using raw materials, because what we are saying that we have to save our resources. The more we exploit our resources, in the future, we are going to run out of resources and it will be very dangerous for our environment. Now, look at this picture. You see? Look at this picture. You can see this is this machine is bulldozer. You see, it is, what is it doing? This is a landfill. You can see this land is full of garbage. You can see the picture here. It is it's reduce, recycle, reuse. You see, they are just doing what? They are recycling materials. From this landfill, maybe they can collect some other items, some other materials which can be reused to manufacture other new products. Now, look at this picture again. Okay, you can see we have different materials here. Here we have plastic bottles. Okay, here we have glass bottles. Okay, here we have plastic containers. Okay, and then we have papers, and then we have cans, like here as I say, like Coca-Cola cans. These are the different materials. They can collect them, brought, they can be brought to factories, and factories can manufacture new product out of these materials which are regarded as waste. We don't have to burn them, because if you burn them, suppose you are burning these plastic bottles, you are burning these glass bottles, you burn these cans. Can you imagine the damage it can cause our soil, it can cause our air, even our environment? That's why it is important to recycle this material and then create new product. Now, which materials can we recycle? The most common sources of recycling, the materials that we recycle every time, like glass. Like a glass bottle can be recycled, and then they can manufacture other product made of glass. Like, let me give you an example, like a mirror. A mirror is made of glass. Like a glass bottle can also create even a mirror. Like a window panes that we have at home. We have cardboard. Cardboard, you see, this is a cardboard. It is used for packaging. Like this cardboard has been used previously for keeping paper. You see, and then cardboard can be recycled to make other products. We have also paper. Paper can be recycled for making other products made of paper. Metal can be also recycled to make other product made of metals. Textile. Textiles like clothes. Okay, clothes. Like if somebody you have very old clothes, okay, they can be also recycled to make other new materials made of textile. And then plastic. We have the tires like a car tires. Okay, I said last time the car tire is made of a rubber. A rubber, it can be used to manufacture many products. Tires can also be recycled. Electronics, like TV we have at home, okay, TV set, radio set, laptops, these are electronic material devices, you see. They can be recycled. Instead of throwing away, your laptop is very old, it no longer works, instead of throwing it away, it can be recycled because there are some very important spare parts which can be found in that laptop, which can be reused and recycled to make other product. Now, the recycling of certain materials would lead to the new material of the same type. Example, like if you are recycling a paper, it would change into a paper. A paper turns into a paperboard, for example. Like if you recycle a material made of paper, it can change and become a paperboard. That's why I said the recycling of certain material would lead to the new material of the same type. Like if I say you are recycling a glass bottle, it can also be used to manufacture, let me give an example, like mayonnaise jars, okay, like a jam jar, okay, it is made of glass, okay. So in most cases it works like that, but not only like that, because another material can also create another material. This is how things work. Now look at this place, you see, it looks like a storehouse, and then you can see they are just dumping the trash. They are just dumping the trash. Now you can see different kind of materials here. Plastic bags, plastic bottles, and different types of material, cardboard, etc. Which they are dumping them because these are regarded as trash. But are we going to burn them? Because if we burn them, okay, we are going to get rid of waste, but the problem is the materials we are going to burn them, we don't know what they are made of. Some of those materials, they are made of toxic materials. And then the fact of burning them, it can even damage the soil or the environment in which you are living in. Or if we take this kind of trash and then we try to dump them into the rivers or into the lake, it is going even to pollute the water. You see, that's why it is very important to recycle the most important materials and then the amount of trash or rubbish will be reduced. Even if we practice incineration, it means burning trash, the damage will not be as much as if we reduce the amount of trash, because we have collected the most important waste, which will be brought into the factories to manufacture new product. Thank you very much, dear student. I hope you have enjoyed